Hey, what's up YouTube? It's Jacob Torres from WikiJackson.com, and today we'll be going over my top used jailbreak tweaks on my iPhone. Alright, so let's get started with the lock screen. As you can see already on my lock screen, I have a completely different effect than the stock iOS experience. So you can see I'm using a theme to customize the clock face and font and things like that. Now I'll have the name of the theme and the repo that you can find it under in the corner of this video. This is an awesome looking theme. I'm not too sure what it's called right now, but the developer really deserves credit for making such awesome themes. He's made a couple other themes and they also look completely just outrageously the best lock screen themes I've ever seen. And so one downfall to these themes is that they're in 24-hour time, but you really get used to it after a while, especially since they look so awesome. I'm also using Springtomize 2 to hide the standard clock that's usually there, so this theme looks a lot better. Now I'm using a custom wallpaper that I got from the HTC Sense custom gallery wallpapers that MKBHD, another famous YouTuber, posted to his Twitter a while back. Now I'm also using a photo from that gallery on my home screen, which you'll see in a second. And the actual locking mechanism, as you can see right here, is something called JellyLock, I'm pretty sure. Like I said, I'll have the names in the corner of this video. So basically this adds an Android 4.0 Jelly Bean style lock screen to your iPhone, obviously. So you can see when you drag the little lock key, I guess you can call, you can drag it to the right to unlock the phone. And you can see it kind of locks on right there and becomes a different color. Or you can drag it to the left to get to your camera. Now there's similar functionality like this on actual Android Nexus phones, but you could also swipe up to go to Google Now. Now this tweak is in beta still, so I'm hoping when they release the full version, you'll be able to access Siri by going up like that, or maybe Google Voice Search or something. So like I said, you could swipe to the left to access your camera, and a tweak that I'm using for my camera is called TransparentCameraBar, or something like that. You'll see the tweak name in the corner of this video, but you can see the bottom area of my camera where there's usually this gray bar. That's gone, so you have more view on your camera, as you can see down here. You wouldn't be able to see that before in the normal camera view. So that's a pretty cool tweak. And back to my lock screen, if you swipe to the right, you'll actually go into your springboard. So you can see this looks completely different than the stock iOS experience, and I'm going to be going through the main tweaks and themes used to make it look like this. So the main theme that customizes the icon shape and the actual icon pictures is called MinimalMiiU, I believe. Like I said, the names will be in the corner. But this adds these awesome, simplistic, minimalistic style icons, textures to your icons on your home screen. And it also gives them this square shape, so it looks really nice and clean and simplistic. And it's by far my favorite icon theme on the App Store. So now the tweak that I'm using to customize the amount of icons and the way they look and the size of them and things like that is called Springtomize 2. So basically I'm using Springtomize 2 to do a few things on my home screen. I'm using it to get 5 icons in a row, as you can see like that. I'm also using it to reduce the size of the icons so they look a little bit better when there's 5 of them in one row. I'm also using it to change the font size and face of the text for the fonts down there. So this is all done using Springtomize 2. Another thing that I'm using is I'm disabling Spotlight, so I can't swipe over to get to the Spotlight search because I've never honestly used it. I'm also using it to get this very discreet dock flow style dock. You could probably barely see it, and you probably didn't notice it until I pointed it out. But you can see that some of the icons are like oblique to make it kind of seem like a 3D dock type thing. I don't know, it adds some texture to your dock, which is nice. So let's go into the next tweak, which I'll be talking about is Active Dock. So basically what's really cool about this dock is that when there's open apps, so I'll just open up some of the apps in my dock down here, you can see there's little indicator lights for when they're open. And you can see when I close out of them, the indicator light goes away. So it's like an OS X dock experience, which is pretty awesome. Now another thing is that when you receive a notification, the app will kind of bounce up and down in the dock, just like in OS X. And also it has this OS X dock looking face instead of the standard iOS dock. Now the main tweak that you guys are probably wondering about is called Dashboard X, and this allows me to place these widgets on my home screen and this clock and things like that. Now Dashboard X basically allows you to add any notification center widget, whether it be stock like the weather widget or the stock widget, or in widget that you added on from Cydia, such as NC settings right here, or Torch NC, which allows you to activate the LED light just by tapping it. And also this last one down here is called Tap to Widgets, which allows you to create a calendar event, a note, a reminder, all of that with just the tap of a button. Same thing with like composing a tweet or something. They're all grouped together in one nice thing. And you can see I've put some of them on my home screen, well, the ones that I use the most anyways. So I have Tap to Torch as a quick flashlight alternative. And NC settings basically has just a whole bunch of quick toggles that you could use to turn off Wi-Fi, let's say. You can see there's now LTE in the corner, and if I turn Wi-Fi back on, the Wi-Fi signal will pop up again right there. You can turn the auto lock or auto rotation off, or whatever it's called, so you can lock and unlock that from there. What I use it mostly for is to turn on and off Do Not Disturb, like that. So NC settings is awesome, and you can use it. And I also have a lot more quick toggles in the app switcher tweak that I'm using called Auxo. Now, basically there's more quick setting toggles, not as much as in Notification Center, but I could reach these, say, when I'm in an app. Let's say I'm checking my tweets, and I could just simply swipe up and access my quick toggles from there. Now, another tweak that I'm using is called Zephyr, which allows me to swipe up from the bottom to access the app switch. So Zephyr is a pretty cool tweak just to quickly access the app switcher without having to double tap the home button. Now, while on that topic, I'm also using Activator to reassign different commands to different actions that you do on your iOS device. I'm sure a lot of you are familiar with Activator, but what I'm using it for is to where I could double tap to access Siri, instead of having to double tap to access the app switcher, since Zephyr allows me to just swipe up to reach it. And I'm also using it to where I can tap and hold the home screen to lock my phone. Now I use this because my case, the case that I'm using, the lock button is a little hard to press, but it just seems it's easier to just hold the lock screen, or to hold the home button, sorry. And so I use Activator for small things like that. Another tweak that I'm using to customize the icons is called Gridlock 2.0. Now I'm sure most of you are familiar with the original Gridlock that came out if you jailbroke your phone in the past, but basically that didn't work for iOS 6, so they finally pushed out an update that is compatible with iOS 6, and so I'm using it to provide space to put my widgets. So you can see I have 2 missing rows right there for where I put the 3 widgets right here. I have 2 missing rows in the middle to kind of provide space for that so there's not apps like behind it, and I also have 6 missing icons up here for where the clock goes. So now basically with Gridlock, you can put the app wherever you want, which is what's allowing me to place these apps over here, and they're not shifting over to the other side. So this is pretty awesome. And I'm also using it inside here. You can see I have this nice little pattern just because. Now you'll probably also notice the tweak that I'm using called Folder Enhancer, which allows you to have folders inside of folders and full screen folders, as you can see. So it's basically like Infinity Folder, just a little more advanced. So you could have folders inside of folders, as you can see, and you could swipe up and down if you have more apps in the folder than what's shown on the screen. So you can see when I tap and hold to edit the icons, and where they go, you can see I can swipe down and there's another page to put apps on. So basically you can have an infinite amount of icons in your folders, which is pretty cool. And it allows you to have these nice full screen folders. And finally, the last tweak that I'm going to be talking about is called HooksLaw. And it's spelled kind of awkward. I'll have the name and repo in the corner of the video, like everything else. But basically, it adds kind of a nice springiness to your springboard. So when you're opening an app, it happens a little faster. When you're closing an app, it happens a little faster. And just transitions and things like that, all throughout iOS, it happens a little faster. Now, one tweak that I forgot to mention while I was on my lock screen is a tweak. I don't know what it's called, but it'll be in the corner of the video. But basically, when you unlock your phone, you can see it kind of spreads apart and reveals my phone, kind of like curtains or something like that, instead of just going into the phone. So this is a cool little transition that just makes your phone look cooler, and is part of my favorite tweaks that I use on a daily basis. Anyway, guys, thank you for watching, and if you enjoyed this video, please be sure to give it a thumbs up. Also, be sure to hit that subscribe button if you want to see more content like this coming from WikiJackson. Also, be sure to visit wikijackson.com if you want to go ahead and buy a custom computer for yourself. Well, anyway, guys, thank you for watching, and later.